Okay, hey guys, this is the second part of my ban list prediction video of what I want to see happen on the ban list. In the last part, I got through the banned cards, the cards I want to be banned, and most of the limits. There was one card I want limited that I did not get to because I ran out of time, and frankly, it kind of connects with what some of the cards I would like to see back at 2, and that card is Judgment Dragon. And first off, don't call me biased for this because Judgment Dragon is my absolute favorite card. If you couldn't guess, because half of my videos are Lightsworn videos. So yeah, I'm not biased about this. I do want to see Judgment Dragon 1, and it's pretty viable now because Lightsworns have been reaching the top 32 quite a bit recently. In fact, according to like one of the more recent posts that was placed today about YCS Dallas, they said that at Atlanta, Lightsworn was actually the number 5 most used deck at the YCS. So that shows something about Lightsworn. They're coming back, and I could see that to just make it more balanced and less of a luck sacky deck to hit Judgment Dragon to 1 and bring back a few other Lightsworn support cards. And that's what I'm going to go into now for cards I would like to see back at 2. The 2 Lightsworn cards I would like to see back at 2, maybe a little higher than that, and no, it's not Charge of the Light Brigade because that card just stay at 1 forever. First one is Necrogonna. If you ask me, this Necrogonna should have never been limited because that one caught everyone by surprise. No one expected Necrogonna to get limited because it didn't deserve to be. I mean, it's not as good as something like Honest, because Honest you can't predict it. Necrogonna, you can see your opponent's graveyard, and Necrogonna's in there, and you can predict it. And Necrogonna doesn't do anything beyond negating the attack. I mean, it's no worse than something like Waboku or Threatening Roar. So Necrogonna, if you limit JD, Necrogonna could come back or 2 or 3. I would like to see it back at 3, although I feel like they would test it at 2 to just make sure it's not insanely overpowered. Although I feel that what made Necrogonna so good during the Lightsworn format was the fact that we had 3 Charge of the Light Brigade, and that would just mill so many cards that getting Necrogonna into the graveyard was ridiculously easy. And then, on the subject of that, I would like to see Lumina Lightsworn Summoner come back at 2 or 3 because, like Necrogonna, what made Lumina so good is that it was Charge of the Light Brigade. You could search her, and at the same time, you're probably going to get a target for her in the graveyard. And just like Lumina into Lumina into Lumina into Groth, you're milling so much with that, and that was really Charge of the Light Brigade that did that. I mean, Lumina, I can see how it could be a bit of a problem at 3, but I really don't think it would be that big of a deal, because Lumina, it really isn't that much more powerful than Zombie Master. I mean, Lumina has less restrictions. I mean, you can discard any card instead of just a monster, and she does mill, but she's really not that good. If anything, I'd bring her back to 2 for now, see what happens, though. In terms of Lightsworn, I would put JD at 1, bring Necrogonna and Lumina back to 2. I mean, that makes the deck less luck sacky and less herb derp win JD nuke field game. I mean, that just adds more consistency to it. And then another card I'd like to see semi-limited, especially if we ban Monster Reborn, which should happen. I would like to see Call of the Haunted come back to 2 instead of bringing back something like Premature Burial, because if you bring back Premature Burial, everyone's going to run 3 Hidden Armory. Now, Call of the Haunted to 2 could possibly boost the card's use because practically no one uses it right now because of all the back row hate that's running around these days with Heavy Storm gone. And Call of the Haunted at 2 really probably wouldn't be that big of a deal because there's so many ways to get rid of Call of the Haunted, and it's not like Premature Burial where you have to destroy it to get rid of it. If Call of the Haunted leaves the field, then the monster's getting destroyed. So ban Monster Reborn, Call of the Haunted to come to 2. I mean, that makes more sense than bringing back a broken Revival card just to have 2 in the game. I'd sooner have Call of the Haunted at 2 than bring either Premature Burial or Monster Reborn back. Another card that could be brought back to 2 just to counter 6 Samurais, and maybe I guess Gravekeepers also, is Mind Crush, which frankly I'm not really sure why this was limited again in the first place, because this was at 2 a few formats ago. And Mind Crush, because 6 Sams and Gravekeepers, they search so much. I mean, Gravekeepers, they got Auto Duality, they got Recruiter, they got Commandant, and then 6 Sands, they got Sheehan Smoke Signal, they got Gateway of the Six, they've got just all this stuff that lets them search. They got Reinforcement of the Army also, I forgot about that one. And they can search, and it keeps their loop going over and over and over again, and you can just stop it right in its tracks with Mind Crush. And it's not really easy to counter them when all we've got is 1 Trap Dust Shoot and 1 Mind Crush. So Mind Crush to 2 could actually help us counter them a little bit. In my honest opinion, we should probably ban Trap Dust Shoot and bring Mind Crush to 3, but that's a different subject. This is trying to be practical with the list. I don't see Trap Dust Shoot being banned anytime soon. And the last card that I feel could be semi-limited could just be that card that it's not doing much right now, so let's just semi-limited, see what happens. That's Summoner Monk, which was hit because Synchro Cat during the Darkstrike Fighter days was messed up. Monk into another Monk into Cat into 2 Darkstrike Fighter per game. That was pretty messed up, and I guess they kept it at 1 because they were afraid that Monk could go into an instant Stardust Dragon. And the Monk's really not that big of a deal, though, if you ask me. I mean, I wouldn't put him back at 3 right away. I'd test him out to see how he does. I don't see Monk doing anything incredibly bad, so putting him at 2 just to test it out, see how he does. I can see that happening. And then, now, there are 6 cards I'd like to see unlimited, just because they're not doing anything in the format, so there's really no point for them to be on the list at all right now. And those 6 would be Snipe Hunter, Magical Stone Excavation, Bottomless Trap Hole, Pajama Trio, Skill Drain, and then one that I don't have a copy of with me right now is the Transmigration Prophecy, and those really aren't doing anything. Snipe Hunter is not nowhere near as good as he used to be, where you can ditch so many cards and like destroy. That's not good these days at all. I'd argue Tribe Infecting Virus is way better than the Snipe Hunter, or just a bunch of other things are way better than the Snipe Hunter. Snipe Hunter to 3, I could see that happening really easily. I do not know why Magical Stone Activation is still at 2. Seriously, this card was overpowered during the days of Diamond Dude Turbo, which was well before I got into the competitive game. So, Magical Stone Activation, I do not know why this is still at 2. No one has used it for a long time. I don't know. It's one of those cards that's like, why are you still at 2? You don't do anything. Bring it back to 3. And it minuses the crap out of your hand. Discard 2, add 1, and then Magical Stone Activation. It's like a -2 to your hand. That's not good at all. It should not be on the list whatsoever. And then Bottomless Trap Hole has been completely overshadowed by Solemn Warning. No one uses Bottomless Trap Hole anymore because Solemn Warning is just so much better. So that's why there's that. I'm going a little bit fast, I'm starting to run out of time again. Genre Trio is also not doing anything. No point in it being at 2 if it's not doing anything. Skill Drain, it's not really doing much either. I mean, Skill Drain used to be huge a few months ago, not so much anymore. Skill Drain I can see coming back to 3. And then Transmigration Prophecy, which I don't have a card for it right now. That one I think was hit because in Japan there was like either some DB borderline group where people were getting Gorz the Emissary of Darkness out like all the time. That's not that powerful. And then another one I heard was like, with 2 Transmigration Prophecy you'll never deck out, and frankly if you're at the point of decking out, you either need to learn to play Lightsworn better or learn to play the game better, because no game should reach the point where you're decking out unless you're fighting a deck out deck. Yeah, Transmigration Prophecy is not broken at all. I don't know why it's still at 1. I don't know why it ever went to 1 in the first place, because it's not that good of a card. I would even argue that this is the backward version of Foolish Burial. I think it's like Foolish Return or something. It was just recently released. That's way better than Transmigration Prophecy just because it's quick play. And that's pretty much all the cards I think should change in the list. To recap, the cards I think should be banned are Dark Arm Dragon, Monster Reborn, Cold Wave, and Giant Trunade. Showing all these cards upside down for whatever reason. Cards I think should be limited include Heavy Storm, Gateway of the Six, Royal Tribute, Dandelion, Tsukuyomi, Tribe Infecting Virus, Judgment Dragon. And then cards that should be semi-limited are Necrogardna, Lumina, Call the Haunted, Summoner Monk, and Mind Crush. And then cards that can be unlimited are Snipe Hunter, Magical Stone Activation, Bottomless Trap Hole, Ojama Trio, Skill Drain, and the Transmigration Prophecy. That's pretty much it for this video segment, and I'll post my analysis of the ban list when it comes out. That should really only be about a week or so now. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this.